Next speaker is for a joint statement, Human Rights Watch. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we close this session, civil society shares a sense of disappointment about the Council's overall failure to effectively fulfill its mandate to address situations of violations and to hold states to account for these violations. In particular, we regret the continued unwillingness of the Council and its member states to address widespread human rights violations perpetrated by its member states, and the failure of the same states to fully cooperate with the Council or adhere to basic membership standards. We are encouraged by continuing efforts to keep the spotlight on accountability in Sri Lanka, and with diligent interpretation yielding concrete results, this could become a good example of what can be achieved at the Council throughout persistence, leadership and courage on the part of civil society and, in some cases, states. We also welcome steps to put Burundi on the Council's agenda, presenting an opportunity and responsibility to prevent further deterioration of the situation. We finally welcome the first ever Item 10 country-specific debate panel and its strong victim-oriented approach. Conversely, we are disappointed by the lack of transparency in negotiations on the resolution on Sudan, which affects the capacity of human rights defenders to fully participate and contribute to the debate. We regret the failure to set up the much-needed reporting mechanisms on the forgotten conflicts in southern Kordofan, Blue Nile and Darfur. We are also dismayed at the failure to hold all parties to the conflict in Yemen to account for widespread serious violations. We echo the call of some states for further urgent action on accountability in Yemen should the situation fail to improve. The world should be watching. This resolution also illustrates a growing tendency of giving a clearly outsized role to those states responsible for violations in holding the pen on resolutions. They often do so not with the intention of actually addressing the situation, but with the aim of shielding their own acts and omissions from international scrutiny. Sadly, they are often supported by their allies for the sake of a political expediency. This practice undermines the mandate of the Council. In relation to the participation of civil society, Mr. President, we welcome the explicit affirmation by more than 60 states of the Council's legal duty to address intimidation and reprisals and protect those cooperating with the Council. In this regard, we also welcome the role that your Bureau and you personally have played and urge this practice to be continued by your successors. And in closing, Mr. President, and since this is your last official session, we thank you personally for your efforts throughout your presidency at making the Council a safer place for human rights defenders and seeking to enhance the impact of its work on the lives of people around the world. Thank you for your attention.